Alright, welcome to my channel. Last time I did a video where I was flying an F-22. I think there was a little bit of confusion, which I will take responsibility for that, regarding the point of these videos in general, and specifically what I was doing with the F-22. So, first I want to say that I'm not a pilot in real life, and I definitely do not consider myself even a virtual fighter pilot. I am learning, and part of the point of these videos is to learn from my mistakes. I have a different YouTube channel that's not even related to video games, and I started posting videos to that a long time ago, long before I did this channel, and it was a good way for me to learn how to do what I was doing in that channel, because I could see my mistakes over and over and over again in the video when I watched the video, and then I got to see them over and over and over again when I edited the video, and then I also was posting them to the public, where there's a little bit of accountability there that I didn't have on my own. So I wound up becoming much better at what I was doing in those videos because I was making and posting the videos. So that's the first thing that I'm trying to do with some of these videos. I know they're not perfect, and I know they're not, they're not on the level of like Growling Sidewinder or Red Kite. Those guys know a lot more about what they're doing than I do, and honestly, their videos, at least the ones I've seen in general, are better than mine, and I don't have a problem with that. So, it's not that level of instruction, but I'm trying to learn. I don't mind showing my mistakes so that other people can see my mistakes. I'm learning from my mistakes. I hope that you are learning from my mistakes. And there are some successes in my videos, and I hope that we all learn from those as well. So I'm not going to talk during this part of the video. I'll do attack view later, but that was the first thing that I wanted to say about these videos. And the last F-22 Raptor video I did really seemed to bring out that confusion, where I think a lot of people thought that I was trying to show that that's the way it was done, and that's not the case. I'm learning, and I'm testing things out. So the second disclaimer, I guess, on this video is I'm really just testing out. I'm trying to have fun, and I'm trying to learn these systems, which are very similar to the F-15 in sim, and and I'm trying to kind of test out the not greatly modeled stealth in the sim, which is not the fault of the mod creator, I don't think, and it's not necessarily a fault of Eagle Dynamics either. I think it's just something that hasn't necessarily been needed to be fleshed out completely. Anyway, I think that covers it. I'm going to shut up because I don't want to talk over the action that's about to start happening. This is a longer video because it is a bigger fight and there's more opponents, but I'll talk about that later. So I hope that clears some of this up, and as always, thanks for watching, which I'll probably say again at the end of the video. Here we go. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. This is going to be a longer tack view, obviously. And essentially what's going on here is and you notice this from the video, I'm sure, but there's a group of 3 flankers taking off from Godada, and there are 3 taking off further away from Sochi. And one thing, these guys separate a little bit, which is to their detriment. I think that happens a lot, but we'll see how this plays out here in TAC view, and I think we'll see some things differently than what we saw before. But essentially, so what I originally did. Let me pause this. I fought this more than once. The first time, this first group went down really easily. My plan was to turn on my radar when I thought I could pick them up at distance, figure out kind of where they are and all that good stuff. Turn my radar off, and then I flew over here into this area, turned back in, and I think I was at about 30 miles ish. I didn't know that for sure, but uh, and I got a little closer, got down to within like 20, turned it on, picked them up with TWS lock, and when I had I think the middle guy was at about 10 miles, I pickled 3 missiles and turned away and turned back in, and then tried to do the same thing to the back group, but I lost situational awareness. I was really high up in the air and they were really low, so I actually allowed them to stealthily sneak up on me, and they got me with thermal missiles. One thing that I might reference later, these guys, they seem to be tracking me from an AI standpoint. You know, they're always turning toward me. They never, to my knowledge, and I guess we'll see if we notice anything, but to my knowledge, they never fire a radar missile at me. So the stealth seems to sort of work. I don't know how close one of these guys would have to get to an F-22 Raptor in real life to have a prayer of. There are ways to detect F-22s, just so everybody knows. And I don't know the realistic scenario where a flanker could pick up an F-22 on radar, or if it even could. But there are ways that an F-22 can be detected for sure. But here, what I noticed is I think a lot of heat-seeking missile launches from close range, which is pretty much my primary concern was heat seekers. As far as loadouts go, I have a stealth loadout of 4 AMRAAMs and 2 AIM-9s, and I've loaded up all of these guys to be similar. They've got 4 radar missiles and 2 heat seekers, and that's probably not exactly fair. These guys can be loaded down. Some flankers, I think, can have up to 14 missiles, and they can fire them in salvos and things like that. They're pretty mean. But I have them loaded up with a little bit more of a kind of a fair fight sort of a thing. I don't know that you could call it fair because they're not getting radar locks on me at all. So I locked them up. Finally, I had a little bit of trouble playing with the radar, but I got them locked, and then I kind of cranked off to the right. And the reason I cranked off this direction was to put me between them and the sun, and to put me between them and the land. That's the only reason. I almost went the other way, and then I thought, no, might as well get every advantage I can. So here we go. I'm turning in now, and I am much closer to this guy than I wanted to be. I was trying to allow this guy to get a little closer to me. I probably waited too long. 10 nautical miles is kind of where I really like to fire AMRAAMs, but when I'm TWS firing, in the past, whoops, I didn't mean to left click. In the past, I've kind of intended on not letting them get closer than 10 before I started making my turn. So that's sort of problematic here, but and I think that I missed some when I wouldn't have had I fired sooner, which is kind of weird. But so here comes the missiles, and it really looks like spatial stuff is kind of difficult here, but I I'm pretty sure that, okay, yeah. This one, I think I either locked them up incorrectly or something, because I think this one was tracking the first guy. So I may not have had the third one bugged. Maybe. I'm not really for sure. Or maybe I didn't have the second one bugged, because this guy looks like he's about to die. Like he really does. But this missile's not. Like I don't know what this missile's doing. Actually, I think it was trying to track him, but it just didn't do a good job or something. Maybe I don't know. And then it kind of looks like it's tracking this guy. We'll speed it back up a little bit. When I first watched this TAC view, I thought it was going ballistic, but it looks like it's trying to track. It's got decent speed, you know, coming in on this guy, but it's not really tracking though, I don't think. I think maybe I don't know, it pulled up, so maybe it's trying to track him. It's not doing a good job of it though. So he got low and fast, and that crashed into the ocean. So here, once that happened, once I fired those 3 missiles, I just ran away. I wanted to create some space. I probably should have turned more to the left, which I eventually do, but these guys back here, this third group, I probably should have put this group right between me and them, because I don't know where they are at this point. So this guy is 9 miles and climbing. See if I can pick one of those guys. Whoops, wrong thing. I always do that. Nope. Let's get back over here. Okay, so they're 70 miles away, but I don't know that. So I got pretty fast. He's actually way faster. So now, of course, I'm turning, but he's closing. And by the time I get turned around, he's 5 miles away. And here, this was an interesting thing. I don't remember doing this, but I do remember picking up a target on the radar. And luckily, it was this one back here. I didn't really know what I was doing. I just tried to pick somebody up on the radar, and I was afraid whenever when in the video, like when I was shooting the video originally, when I was flying it, I was afraid I had locked this guy up and that I had just wasted a missile. And maybe I did lock this guy up. I guess I hadn't watched the video close enough, but whatever happens, the missile picks up the second guy, which is very, very fortunate for me. And actually, I guess perhaps now that I'm seeing this and I'm thinking back to the video, because I relaxed and kind of pointed down a little bit, I think I knew that I had him locked up, and I wanted to fire that missile and then engage this guy. So honestly, I think that's what's going on here, because I relaxed and fired this missile, and then I turned pretty hard. So I didn't really fire that missile until we were passing. So we're going to watch this missile for a minute, and then we'll go back. We'll rewind. Yeah, okay. Yeah, in this case, this guy really doesn't have too much of a chance. It doesn't look like that was a fairly close range shot. This missile has plenty of energy. He's doing a pretty good job. You know, I think there's some other things that this AI could have done, but he did okay. All right, so now we've got some more action over here. Let's rewind to after this missile shot. There we go, something like that. So missile has been shot. I'm turning. He's already turning. So we're kind of in a turning fight now. I don't know that the other plane has been killed, but for right now I need to focus on him. And this entire time I was afraid that I was going to have a heater coming up my tailpipe. So So because he turned earlier, he did a good job of getting back around me. Oh, that guy's still not dead. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Takes a minute. So maneuvering wise, I'm not too afraid of a turning fight with this guy because, oh, here we go. He's shooting this. This one almost punched my ticket because I was already turning, and and to be quite honest, this got close enough. I'm not sure why it didn't explode. It should have. Honestly, I feel like it should have peppered me at least. So that one almost punched my ticket, and I saw it come off the rail. I was watching for it, but it surprised me a little bit. I was watching for it, but we were close enough and turning enough that anyway, it did kind of surprise me, but it about got me. It's a good thing this thing has a pretty good turn rate. So there I dodged literally dodged a bullet and got a little bit lucky because I was in my turn anyway. So whoops, oh my goodness, I always hit wrong buttons here. Okay, we'll speed it back up to full speed. I don't want this to get too long, but I do want to focus on the action parts and kind of see what happened. So, like I was saying before that missile shot, I wasn't too worried about being able to obtain position. I can definitely outperform these guys. The problem here is I'm fairly panicked because I don't know where that second group of 3 are, and I know that there is the potential for another jet in this area because I don't know for sure if my last AMRAAM got the kill or not. So I'm sort of panicked here a little bit. Also, this jet is pretty twitchy or flighty, so and I'm not quite used to it. So that it's very kind of unstable, and so I twitch a little bit sometimes when I pull the trigger. Here, he really got me. He was flying level, and I fired right over the top of him, and then he pulled up as I fired that second burst. I don't know that he did that in the game actually, but here anyway, it's a matter of me just trying to stay behind him, which isn't too difficult, and get the right distance and then get the right lead. So so in this kind of a thing, you can see I sort of there's times when I really pulled hard to try to get like the gravity assist to pull my nose around, and I don't know that was necessarily the right thing to do. But it kind of worked. I had relaxed through this turn and then pulled to get the gravity assist to snap my nose around. And then there, I don't know that this needs to be dwelled upon, but I was trying to kind of make sure that he was dead. And but then I didn't want to get out in front of him. He could still, as if the pilot's still in there, he can still do something. So anyway, I pulled pretty hard off to the left there once I saw him smoking pretty good, and then I tried to figure out where these guys were. That's next on the agenda. So we're at 30 miles. If I had more AMRAAMs, those would be handy, but I don't. I was having my RWR seemed to be jumping around, which I think was because I was jumping around, so it confused me a little bit. But anyway, once I picked him up, I kind of turned, and then I went ahead and you'll see I'll turn off to the left a little bit because I don't want to be flying directly at them when they pop their first missiles. I have 2 AIM-9s and there's 3 of them, so I don't necessarily want to waste a missile if I can help it, so I don't want to fire it at long range or anything like that. These guys tend to fire a little sooner than I am willing to. There they fire. And I just kind of pulled up a little bit and popped some flares. I was moving fairly quickly. I wasn't too worried about that particular missile. Now, this is where I really got worried because I know that there's 3 guys here that all have heaters on them. So I need to try to kill these guys quickly. That is not as tight of a turn as I thought I could have pulled, but so I think right in here I got tone, and I actually hit the button, but I didn't hit it. I didn't hold it down long enough, and I'm glad that I didn't. Yeah, that was the spot where that happened. So right in here, I got good tone, but the sun was behind him, so I waited, and then I kind of tried to pull lead, or right before that I'd pulled lead and had him pull out in front of it. But anyway, once he passed the sun a good ways, that was just an easy kill. There was nothing to that at all, other than just keeping the tone until I was ready to fire. So as you can see, and AIM-9Xs are mean. So our energy, I'm a little higher energy than he is. Yeah, I don't know if there's much else to say on that. There's just not a whole lot he can do against an AIM-9X right there. Okay, so one down. These two are back behind, and I think this one seems to be the one that's maneuvering hardest. Yeah, I think he's closest. So he's 2 miles away. Here comes the missile shot. I don't remember right off the top of my head if I saw that one or not. Here comes a missile shot, and then this, okay, right here. This one makes me mad. I knew better. I shouldn't have done it. That missile would have, like, even had that missile gone through my aircraft, it wouldn't have hit this guy. That was a stupid waste of a missile. Okay. So I'm very upset at myself for even attempting that one. I was way too close and I knew it, but once again I was in a hurry trying to kill these guys, and here is a fun little missile that probably this guy shouldn't have fired, considering, you know, his buddies right here. In fact, it looks like it might be, nah, I don't know. I don't know who it's tracking. It's either not tracking yeah, it's not really tracking anybody, or it probably got fooled by this guy's flares. So when it came off the rail, it might have been tracking me at the start, but it definitely switched over to this guy. So anyway, little lesson: don't fire when your buddies, especially a heater. Don't fire a heater whenever your buddies are there. So this guy's in good position though. Look at that. If he would have waited till here to fire, he might have had a chance. Also, this guy is having to maneuver pretty hard to make sure his buddy doesn't kill him, which gives me an advantage. So there's a lot going on here. I am still very worried about this guy, but I'm just trying my best to ignore him and get the kill on this one as fast as I can. So there was a snapshot. I knew it was low probability, but thought I would try it anyway. Here once again, this guy. This is not as bad of a missile shot, I don't think, but it's at least tracking me. But I'm sort of engaged in turning with this dude, and so, you know, I don't know that I had a chance. I popped those flares not because I saw the missile, but just because I knew he was there. I probably should have popped a few more. So that flare makes me look really smart, perhaps, but you know, it was just, I know I'm in trouble here. So there I pulled some pretty massive lead to try to drop in right behind this guy, and I'm sitting in the driver's seat of this little engagement. So now it's just literally a matter of getting reticle on him and killing him. So went ahead and popped some more flares. Because that second missile I never really saw. So I'm assuming he still has one. Now here's a good buddy for you. Like, instead of like trying to get in on my tail and get a kill on me while I was maneuvering with that guy, this dude's just over here circling, firing missiles. So he's not being a really good wingman. So now I don't know where he is, honestly, or didn't. And so I just kind of flew off a direction as fast as I could and then turned back in, and somewhere in here I caught him. And when I say caught him, I mean I just saw him. Had I known that he was out of missiles, I wouldn't have worried so much, but or out of those missiles. So anyway, he is. I'm pretty fast. He's having to climb to catch me, so I've got a lot of advantages here. I don't know why I'm not maneuvering yet, so maybe I haven't seen him. Or, okay, there I see him. It took me a while to pick him up, apparently. So I gave him a little bit of advantage back by doing that, I suppose. That's a little frustrating to watch. But, okay, so here I reversed to try to bleed off some energy. I'm pretty sure that I've got more than him, so I want to travel a further distance and slow down a little bit. I don't want to slow down too much. Oh, he relaxed a little bit. Now he's trying to help me out. Maybe. It looked like he relaxed his turn a little bit. Yeah, he is. His turn rate's going down. So you can see those flares. I still think he's got missiles, so just in case. Now here, normally, and I don't know if this is right or not, but normally I would have just reversed my turn back. But I decided instead that I was going to drop the nose and try to do like I guess you'd call this a low yo-yo. Mostly to continue building my energy while also getting a pretty tight turn and creating some distance so that, now he's going faster than me at this point, but I didn't really know that. I just knew that I didn't have the position I wanted. So anyway, I dropped down and then got an advantage on that turn and then reversed it back. And then here I pull really, really hard. That turn rate shot way up. So I basically traded out my slight advantage and a lot of energy to tuck in behind him. And with the Raptor, you can do that. Some other planes, not so well, but the Raptor's really good at that kind of thing. So if you've got some energy, you can trade it out really quickly. And so essentially, I pulled that turn rate up, got nearly tucked in behind him. It's not perfect, but now I relaxed, built the energy up, and I kind of pulled a good lag pursuit, just to make sure, if you aim at them, you can get in a bad position. So, if you're trying to close the gap a little bit, you might want to lead, but in some cases, I think in the Art of the Kill video, they say it driving to the elbow. So that's kind of what I was doing there. Like, you find the point where they start their turn, which I can't really do here, but I just picked a point behind him and drove to it and then went ahead and turned to get in behind him. So all of that stuff, I don't know if that's the right way to do it or not, but it seemed to work really well here in the Raptor. Of course, the Raptor's easy to do that kind of stuff in, like I said. So for whatever all that's worth. And then that burst was like that was the longest burst of the fight. And and I'm going much faster than he is now. And so I almost punched my own ticket here too. And I just barely, oh, it's saying I got a hit on myself. So I took some damage apparently. It's awesome. So according to this, I did hit him, and that wouldn't surprise me because, oh man, because it looked like I was going to crash into him. I barely hit him too. Like I don't know why I was having so much trouble getting this guy. Now that burst looks like it went right through him, but they may have gone over him because the way the tracers are shown here. I don't know. It's sure looking like a lot of those should have been hitting him. But anyway, I think I clipped his wing with some bullets right there. Anyway, so I know that this is a very long video. And if you're still with me, I appreciate you sticking to the end. I think there is a lot of interesting stuff here, probably a lot that I haven't even touched on regarding the stealth capabilities in DCS and the you know, fighting multiple enemies. Oh yeah, and I forgot, this guy survived. He flew over here and landed. I think if I remember right, I damaged this vertical stab and knocked this horizontal stab off. So then he went and landed probably at Kobaletti, or yeah, I guess this one. So anyway, that was fun. I've done a few of these kinds of fights, but this is the first one I've tried to put together in a full video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope it wasn't too long, but let me know what you guys think. As always, thanks for watching and happy flying.